Welcome to yourfaculty.com. We are going to deal with our third video on percentage. I hope you got chance to go through our other two videos. In our earlier videos, we tried to understand what percentage is, and how do you calculate when there is an increase or decrease, and if there's a compounded value or multiple increases, what do you do? I have done that. If there is an increase, decrease, decrease, how do you calculate it? I even solved a problem where the values were given where we tried to assume, if you remember in the case of Sam and Ben, we tried to assume values of 100 and 140 to solve the problem, and in the meantime we also arrived at calculating percentage change, which is basically initial value minus final value by initial value. So this initial value minus final value just mean that it is the difference. You don't have to worry about the minus sign here. Difference minus IV. So this concept is very important from the angle that if someone says rupees, a product which is sold at 100 rupees and was increased by 20%, what is the new price? You will say the answer as 120. Now in the same question, if they say the price was then decreased by 20%, lot of you might have the tendency to write the answer as 100. No, that is wrong. So what do you do? In this case, the base is 120. Please remember, the question is a product is sold at rupees 100 and it was increased by 20%, and then the shopkeeper decided to later on decrease the price by 20%. So what we see here is actually 100 into 1.2 into 0.8. Please note, this is what has happened here actually from calculation perspective. Now since the base is just 100 out here, or we can do with the same calculation. 12 8s are, it's 96. So it's 0.96, 100 into 0.96. The new value is actually rupees 96 after you bring it down by 20%. So if you go by step procedure, 100 increased by 20 became 120. 120 decreased by 20, how much should you reduce it by? 24. 2 into 12. That's how you do it, right? 24 rupees you have to reduce it by, which would mean you have to reduce 120 minus 24, which is equal to 96. I hope you are able to appreciate the concept here. So please don't jump onto the answer if the question says a value of a product was increased by 20% and then the shopkeeper, because the sales didn't increase, reduced it by 20%. So the value is not 100. You need to do this calculation or do a manual step-by-step calculation if you don't, if you feel this is complex, if you don't have a calculator or anything. So I hope you understand this. So then now what you are going to do is we will try to solve certain problems. So these are simple problems which come up in a lot of these exams, but we don't attend it thinking that they are very difficult. Now let's take for an example this question. If y increases by 20%, by what percentage should z decrease to keep the product x is equal to yz? Now I'll write it as x is equal to yz. Now what happens if something is increased by 25%? We know that straight away, we know that the calculation will be 1.25, but for the sake of doing it in a simpler way, what we will do is we can write it as 1 plus 1 by 4 from our earlier calculation. For your understanding, I'll explain it again. So what is happening here? It's basically the value of y has to be increased by 25%. And how did this 4 come? 25 by 100. We multiply it by 25 by 100. So we get y by 4. And what do we get finally? We get 5 by 4y. Can you understand what I'm trying to do here? So 5 by 4y is actually equal to 125, right? 1.25. How do you do that? 5 by 4 into 100 and you get 125 percentage, which is basically 1.25. So this can be represented as 5 by 4y because y has gone up by 25 percentage. So which means y plus y by 4, 25 percentage, into some value of k into z should maintain as what? X. And how are the easiest way to do it? We know that this is multiplied by 5 by 4, and to make that value cancel out, we just need to multiply this portion by 4 by 5. So what happens? 5 by 4y into 4 by 5z is equal to what? Y. You can easily cancel these out. So it still remains at y by z. So what is the term? At least we know that. We know that the new value of z, the new value of z is equal to 4 by 5 of z. Now, what does this mean? How do we solve it? Such questions. We need to apply the same concept. Difference by initial value. So what is the difference in this case? Earlier it was z and now it is 4 by 5z. And earlier it was z. Am I right? So with this, what do you get? You get 1 by 5 as the value. And 1 by 5, if you have to convert it into a percentage, you just multiply it by 100 and you get the value as 20%. So z should come down by 20%, which is basically 4 by 5 of its own value, to maintain the product as x itself. I hope you understand this. So there is not much complexity. We just did a reciprocal of 5 by 4. We made 4 by 5, and 4 by 5, what we did was we tried to find what is the difference. We need to find out the percentage change, right? Earlier it was z and now it is 4 by 5 z. So we found out the percentage difference by calculating difference by initial into 100. That is it will give you the percentage value. So 1 by 5 into 100 gave us the percentage is 20%. So that's the answer for you. You can also quickly find it out if you know 1 by 5 is equal to, if you know how to appreciate this particular number. How do you do it? In our earlier problem also we tried this. 4 by 5 can be written as 1 minus 1 by 5. And 1 by 5 is basically the value that is bringing down from our earlier understanding of how to calculate and change if a particular value comes down by 20%. So if a particular value has to come down by 20%, it is basically 1 minus 1 by 5 is what we do to calculate. So or basically 0.8, you arrive at that, right? So it's the same technique. You can apply as per your convenience. So this is what you will get ultimately. Moving on, this is a problem we have anyway tried to do earlier also in a bank example. So I'll try to quickly do it so that you understand how it is applied in a particular problem. Salary of John is $5,000 in 2010, and if salary increases 10% every year, then what will be his salary in 2015? So what are the steps? The steps are pretty straightforward. 5,000 into, and salary increases 10% every year, and 2015 is when you want to find out. 2010 we know his salary was $5,000. So 2011, 12, 13, 14, 15. So we have 5 years, and hence the answer is 1.1 to the power of 5. I hope you will not waste much time over here. This is a very simple expression. If you have a calculator, you just need to multiply it and you get the answer. So we will try to apply the same concepts in profit and loss videos and compound interest, simple interest videos that we will have in your faculty channel in YouTube. We will share all those videos with you Do watch them, and you can also visit www.yourfaculty.com to practice these questions. We have a lot of analytics to understand where you stand, your performance, the time taken per each question, all that. And do like our page in Facebook. We share a lot of GK related questions, verbal strategies, exam strategies, and also our blogs cover activities every day. So do start following us. I hope you'll be able to succeed in your exam. So this is our YouTube channel, your faculty channel, and that's our Facebook page, this is our LinkedIn page, and this is our Twitter handle. Thank you. Have fun.